Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another weekly forecast breakdown. Quick review of the VIP results. As you can see, this week was a bit of a tougher week. You can notice that on Tuesdays there was a nasty sort of minus 2%. I think we sort of stopped trading after like three losses across US30 and gold. Wednesday we came back trying to see if there was a trade, but gold was not playing ball at all. But then when we took a step back, realized that we kind of sort of may have lost our way in terms of when I was looking back at these trades. I was like, why was I even looking to enter these trades? But we always have that. So I took a step back to kind of look back at the trades and see what we were taking. And then I kind of got back into the groove when it was Friday. The confirmations were there. I thought we were going to get that sort of bullish move on US30. And then you can see from here, right there, we were trying to get this bullish move back up. Prices pushed back down into that 50% level. So again, that was another confirmation that prices pushed into discount, right? There were a lot of confirmations that still were sort of pointing to a bearish move on USA, but we stayed strong after that initial reaction. Price almost did sort of continue back down here, but this was a sort of retest / liquidity collection, and then price sort of continued its push up, and it was at this point where we thought that, yep, let's bring the stop loss above entry and put it below the recent swing low, and then we can still climb this up. And you can see for the rest of that day, after that price popped right down here, we carried on pushing up towards these highs again, which is fantastic. So that's what sort of covered us on some of our losses. Still running a swing trade. Hopefully we'll be able to open the market with a nice, decent push towards the upside. Let's switch over to the charts and have a look at where we are. So I'm going to go over to US30 again. And again here you can see there's a bit of analysis going on here. So let's just quickly remove half of this stuff from last week. I was just showing how this price dropped from London session. Just if you guys want to know what this sort of marking up was, you can see that price sort of retraced to that 50% here for London session. London session absolutely dropped the market, whereas there was other times where London session was not in a bearish market, above 50%. Tried to take the trade, but price kept continuing up. Here was an example here where we decided to take a trade, and this I believe was the Tuesday last, yeah. So this is the Tuesday trade we decided to take on you can see there, the Tuesday US30. So we took it twice, but it failed after 2 attempts. And I was looking back and I was like, why was I looking to sell here when price has just taken liquidity, tapped off the new week opening gap? This is a bullish, sign right here to just wait for a bullish sort of move, because price is already, is likely to reverse. But again, we were so, when you sort of got that zoomed in approach and you didn't step back, and that was one of those where I was like, damn, what am I doing, man? And that's what you got to have as a trader. You got to have to look back at yourself and be like, yep, it's not like, market it's just manipulating and it just went the other way. It's all right. We'll just hold the stop loss bigger and eventually it'll come back down. This is why when you have those stop losses in play, it takes you out the trade, and then you can look back at it and you can think, why did that trade fail? And that trade failed because, again, you may have not saw certain things. And this is why when I took a step back, I left it for a day, left it for 2 days, US30. Came back on the Friday, so left it Wednesday, Thursday, and I seen that, market was doing all of this, and then price pushed up again here. And then I was on Friday where I was like, okay, let's wait for that 50% retracement. Okay, we got that. Let's wait for, liquidity collection and reversal pattern. Okay, we're getting that. And then we decide to enter, and that's where we've got our swing trade right there. So if I get this across, you can see that this was our trade right there from that move. Now, in terms of targets, we're looking to target that high, this high, and then back up towards these highs here. But that's going to be a bit of a stretch, because look how much struggle it had to try and break those highs. So we're going to see what happens. Obviously, majorities will be taken out by this liquidity level here. See if price can then break this and then head over to that target at the top, and that is that weekly high that I've been looking for a while now. If we go into the daily time frame, have a look at what's going on to US30. So in terms of, let's just switch over straight to the weekly forecast here. So that's enough for the breakdown. There's nothing much to break down this week. But looking at the weekly forecast for US30, if I just remove all of these, We have liquidity sitting above here with a gap. So I believe if US30 can get up to there very swiftly on Monday, that'd be great. Monday, Tuesday, sort of start of the week, keep that bullish move going. That'd be great to start off the week, and we can get price up into these levels. If I go switch over to US 100, you can see that price has already taken out that high. So notice how this is the high where Trump decided to make that announcement, and the price sort of fell down and pushed back up. Now, this is a sort of retracement move that you got there. Go back to US30, you can see that US30 still has not broken that. So I'm just seeing if price will decide to correlate with across all the other pairs and sort of catch up to where all the other pairs like S&P 500 and NASDAQ are at the moment. Obviously, you can have S&T where these prices are pushing up and already hit their targets, whereas US30 hasn't, which is a bearish idea. So I'm always keeping, you know, we're keeping in control there. If it decides to reverse, we've taken majority of the profits anyway, and this is just a swing that we're holding. So in short, going into next week, that liquidity still sits above here. There's a lot of buy side that sits above here. We want to see price tap into this level, and this is a weekly fair value gap. Now, if we get price tapping into this level, I wouldn't mind seeing exactly how we react off this level if we want to push back down, which again, you can see that we've only had one tap of this low here. Could price want to go and take out this low first and then go back up again after? So again, we've got sell side sitting below here. You notice that obviously we have a push down. Is will price close above here to continue higher? That's what I'm looking for as well. So will price want to sort of do something like that after we had a nice bit of a retracement from this low to this high? We drag it across, you can see that price tapped into discount again, and then we had that bullish reaction, retracements, and then we're going to see exactly what goes on step by step. So in short, for now, these highs are my forecast at the moment. If we get some sort of breaks of structure, you want to see the highs get broken first. I believe that this high at least should get broken. It's a very, very you know, spiked high right there, and you got some liquidity towards the left of it, as you can see that those equal highs. So if you get something like this and price wants to break back down towards these levels here, then this could look like a bearish move, and price will want to potentially turn back around. But if we continue and get that bullish move and you don't see any breaks and price just keeps wanting to climb up, fair enough, then price is going for that weekly fair value gap. So that's a weekly forecast there on US30. I'm going to switch over to gold and have a look at what's going on with gold, because yeah, gold's kind of like, I've dropped off of gold, you know, in terms of like success rate recently. So I'm really like working to get that sort of win rate back, man. What's going on with gold these days? So gold had a massive drop of 3,500, and it was at this level where when price decided to break the swing low right there, you can see that we have a swing low right there, and the price decided to break it right there and retest, and this is a bearish idea here. Again, we were looking for a bullish potential move right there on that retrace to continue back up. But this is what happens again when you're buying really high. A lot of the times you can see that, okay, gold has been climbing, so buying high is not too bad. If price gives us a retracement, you can continue that, and a lot of other traders were looking for that. But once price decided to break, that's when it showed us that, okay, price is going to turn around and give us a bearish move set up. Price pushed up and gave us that bearish retracement there, around at that sort of candle here, this green one here. And this is where I was looking, you could potentially look for the bearish move. I did send that out to the VIPs that price could turn around here, and it did. And you can see for the rest of that evening, price absolutely collapsed from what, 34.30 down to 33.30. So that's what, 1,000 pips. With the gap open as well. So it was at this point where like, what's gold trying to do? So I decided to zoom out on the higher time frame, and I noticed with this gap open, price tapped into daily fair value gap right here, right? So we have a daily fair value gap here. So this is a daily gap that price is trading into now. So again, price can push up from here. However, there's a weekly fair value gap lower down with the retest of a potential order block where price decided to push up. So if this daily fair value gap fails, I wouldn't be surprised that price would want to continue pushing lower before another bullish impulse. So we have potential of a decent size move again. You can see it on my weekly fair value gap, on the weekly chart, on the daily chart as well. I marked up my weekly fair value gaps, and every time price decides to tap back in to a weekly fair value gap, we get a push up, we get a tap back in to a weekly fair value gap, and we get a push up. And again, you can see here on these sort of daily candles, obviously it's not as significant as what we were trading above here. So when price tapped into a daily fair value gap, it did give us some sort of rejection, and then the next day decided to close below it, and then that is when you decided you started to see that price was sort of still bearish. It was taken at this low. Somewhere along here though, we're not getting that close below it. So only once we start seeing daily closes below this level will I then start saying that, right, we're definitely, it's a higher probability, not definitely, it's a higher probability that we're going to tap into this area here before pushing up. If we drop down on the smaller time frames, let's have a look at what's going on and what could aid our bearish move to get price below this level. Well, to start off with, you can see that we have relatively equal lows here, which again, sell side liquidity, which attracts a bearish move. What I decided to send on the free channel, I'm not sure if it's still here. I believe it should be here. There we go. You can notice that the Asia session, I was trying to talk about the Asia session here, that the Asia session kind of defines what happens for the rest of the day. And with the Asia session sort of giving a break of structure here, that's what kicked off the London session bearish move. Price pushed down again here, price retraced and pushed down. Over here, this Asia session here kind of give us a retracement sort of move almost, where price sort of pushed up, took out the high here, and then we had a bearish move. Now, if I go over to the chart again, we have a look at exactly what happened here. Is that price took out the buy side liquidity here. This is how I was reading the charts, right? I know that I've got prices in a daily fair value gap. So I don't want to be selling at these levels here when price is in here. You want to be selling somewhere near these sort of resistance levels above here, right? So with price being in a daily fair value gap, we also have a weekly fair value gap below. Price is also creating equal lows here. And where is the fair value gap for entries? We've got a 1 hour fair value gap here. Why did I pick this one rather than this one? Well, if I draw a fib from this high to this low, obviously it was at this low at first, right? Because the way the candle's printed, but we weren't getting that retracement. Price still broke that low again, so it moves to the next low. So now we look at this next low. Now price is tapped into this discount here, but obviously the timing wasn't right. I didn't want to enter at the end of the week, so this fair value gap is still in premium. So we want to see exactly what happens on Monday in this fair value gap here to see if we get that Monday push below these lows, or Monday, Tuesday push below these lows. Now, in terms of pip count, gold is different now, right? So if I just do this to this spike high from that candle, that's 190 pips, right? That's not even the top of the range, 350 pips. So in terms of pip count now, gold has now, you know, the range is a lot bigger now with these candles. So in terms of like dropping your risk, I have a feeling that a lot of people have been using the same risk that they used to before Trump market basically, and have been getting wrecked by gold in terms of the size of the moves and the sort of manipulation and how it's been moving. So what you want to see is within this 1 hour fair value gap, and this is what I was trying to talk about in terms of the size of the trade. Yes, you can have a swing trade, 400 pip stop loss, and then 600 pip take profit. Potential swing trade, okay. But what you want to see is, for a more conservative approach, you want to look for a reversal pattern where price is climbing and then decides to break structure. And then once you got that structure break, enter on based off that retest or something, if there's a gap or anything like that, and then place your stop loss above that high. You can notice the stop loss is now 100 pips compared to the same 600 pip target. So your risk reward's a bit better there. So that's what I'm trying to wait for. If you get those sort of opportunities, then gold might sort of flip its hand and kind of show you that, yeah, it wants to go down. So that's my bearish approach here. I want to see exactly what happens with this 1 hour fair value gap to see if price wants to push down lower. Again, if it starts attacking these lows here, I wouldn't be surprised if price wants to make a quick run back down towards this weekly fair value gap. In terms of news going into this week, JOLTS on the 29th, I believe that's Tuesday. Then Wednesday we've got PCE, PMI, and then NFP on Friday. So everything's going to be sort of pointing towards that Friday move. So we've got to see exactly what happens. Does price want to sort of give us a bullish sort of move at the start of the week and then a bearish drop? Fair enough. This is your key high right here, right? For bullish people, right? I know there's people saying on the market open, we're going to start flying with Asia session. Potentially we could. So this is your swing point right here. If price breaks above this, where's my drawing? If price breaks above this swing point right there, again, I wouldn't mind starting to look for a bullish move right here. We had a double retest right here, and we don't mind if price wants to get rid of this fair value gap, continue higher, retest back into it and push back up. That's your target back to the all-time high. That's your bullish approach. But again, we want to see exactly what happens at this level here. I don't mind to see potentially 2 moves. And then once we get into this, we have a much better swing after NFP to push back up to that 3,500. So very exciting moves these days in gold. And again, it's a good time to be a trader if you guys can get this right. These are huge moves that you're getting on gold, like 400 pip moves, averaging like a potential daily. And I imagine if you're using a 0.1 lot size on that, that's $400 a day, when you could have been potentially making $50 to $100 a day if you're using that 0.1 lot size. But again, the stop losses are just as big. So risk to reward as always, and risk management is key. That's pretty much it from OaseFX, or from me. It's been OaseFX. Peace out.